Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm gonna go ahead and do the supplemental ERAS application video for y'all so that you could see what is happening with this application and the software. I know there's a lot of ambiguity around using this application. Um, a lot of questions that have not really been answered. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys all the windows and everything that is in this application. This way, maybe it'll help resolve some of the anxiety, and then you can preemptively think about what you're going to put in here and versus what you're going to put in the main ERAS application. Yeah, so hopefully it can help you. And then as I progress through this, you'll see a percentage bar down here and fill up all the way. There is the last section I'm not going to be able to show y'all. And that's because I would have to submit this, and I'm not ready to submit it yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait. But that's just the last section, and you'll know that that last section is actually not important for as far as the residency programs go. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to the first page here. Before I start talking to you about this instructions page, I want you to notice the save and return later button. When you hit this, it'll give you a designated link. You go ahead and copy and paste that link and copy and paste it into a Word document. Do not hit this and then just close your window, because you need that link to get back to this survey. As you can see at the top of the screen, this is essentially a survey, and here it says pilot test, so that definitely tells you that this is like some pilot version of this that they're using. Anyway, it says here this whole application takes 60 minutes. I don't know about that. That's pretty subjective. So over here, we have all the sections. You got 4 sections: past experiences, geographic information, preference signals, and work experiences. And then here, it'll tell you what you put into these sections and what is going to be available to the program directors for each of these specialties that are involved in the supplemental ERAS application. That's your dermatology, general surgery, and internal medicine. Those are the 3 that are partaking into this, application. So for past experiences, everybody wants to see that. The program director is going to look at all those. Geographic information, general surgery does not have to put a geographic preference. And then you got your preference signals. Everybody sees that, every program director from all 3 specialties. And then there's the last section I was talking to you all about. Nobody sees that, and we'll talk about that at the end. Moving forward here to the next page. So anyway, you get your past experiences, general experiences, questions. You got to put in 5 experiences that you found really important to you that's going to make you be the best doctor there is. It says up to 5. Don't kill yourself. You don't have to put full 5. Anyway, honestly, I don't recommend putting 5 here. That's separate from putting 5 in the main ERAS. Focus all your time and energy in the main ERAS application. All right, that is my personal recommendation. Putting 5 there and then putting a different 5 here, thinking like, oh, it'll make it look like I put time in here. And honestly, there's not enough data and what the metrics they're using for this to gauge what how it's going to affect our match and all this and that. So the most important part is that I personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just carry over my 5 experiences from ERAS into this, and it'll elaborate further on them. So anyway, experience 1, as you can see, these are the headings, and there's not even you can't even expand these boxes to type in them. I just had to fill this in, like just type it, and then that's it. You click out and you hope you spelled it right. Position, title, organization, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to show you some of these drop boxes. These you got to fill in: position, title, organization, and start, end date, comp, and then ongoing, whether or not you click the button. And then frequency of participation. That's what this looks like here. 1 time, daily, weekly. I don't know how this helps a program director select a medical resident, but it is here. How often you did this experience, and then type of experience. Here you can, at any moment, feel free to pause the video and take a look at this. You got your educational experience, military, research, etc. Location, got to pick it up. United States, international, virtual, settings, rural, urban, etc. And did the experience require knowledge of medicine or healthcare? There you go. Moving on to the next prompt. Past experiences, medical, healthcare experience questions. I selected I selected earlier that I had like medical healthcare experience or whatever, and then here it's listed three that I had listed there. These are arbitrary, obviously, that I just put here for the sake of filling this out. Under institution, this is what it looks like. They want to know if it was a community hospital, outpatient clinic, private practice, etc. Over here, patient care, if applicable, you can put outpatient, inpatient, etc. And then here they want to know if it was a core rotation, a sub-I, or some kind of shadowing. Moving right along. Then past experience, research experience. So here I put, because I listed like a research one, here you got to put research type. Was it basic science, clinical, epidemiological, etc.? Then here you got to go ahead and pick, again, for that same one research experience I put, they want to know what type of research output or scholarly work. So again, this is exactly what you see on ERAS. I don't understand how it would be any different here. So we can go ahead and pick peer-reviewed published article. Then you put the citation here. This is the only thing that you can expand in this whole application. I don't understand it, but doesn't matter, because once again, this is exactly what would populate in your ERAS application, the main one, the one you should be focusing on. Additional research output. I don't know what that means. And then here we go. And then finally, they want to know if you were a leader or just some chump on this research experience. Literature, if you were a lead or a chump, lead. No disrespect to the chumps. Collaborators are important. Moving on. And then past experiences, volunteer experience questions. I put volunteering. It says here, select the option that best describes the primary focus of population served through the volunteer experience. Then you can pick from all these special types of people here: disabilities, elderly, health disparities, LGBTQ+, and then here's the second half of that, public health, tutoring, veterans, and then here it wants you to basically do the same thing. Select the option that best describes the secondary focus or population served through this volunteer experience, and it's essentially the same groups mentioned here. Next, past experiences, meaningful experience descriptions. Now, if you notice, there's 1,000 characters in the main ERAS that you can fill out a description. Here, it's cut into a third. You have 300 characters for each one. Again, like I'm importing this from ERAS, so I'm just going to go ahead and reword my description that's in the main ERAS for each of these experiences, cut by a third. Let's go ahead. We're here at 33%. We're moving right along. Past experiences other than impactful experiences is 750 characters. Please describe any challenges or hardships that impacted your journey in residency. If you grew up in poverty or you're an immigrant, etc. If you're a refugee or something, whatever. And then that is, give you some hardship, and it could be linked to any of this stuff. You can read this yourself. Out of all this whole thing, I think this part from the past experience is probably the most unique thing, realistically speaking, because this is essentially would be an extension of your personal statement. You might want to put something here that you did not mention in your personal statement, because you're probably not talking about your hardships in the personal statement per se, but here you could put it, get a little bit more personal. We're going to move right along here. Finally, we're on the geographic information, division preferences. Only dermatology and internal medicine are partaking in this. And they've divvied up the census regions here. You got your Pacific Mountain, West, North, Central, Southwest, West, whatever. Anyway, so the way this is going to work is if you indicate a preference for a division, your preference for that division and any additional information about your preference will be shared only with the programs in that division. Your preference for that division will not be shared with the programs outside that division. So basically what this is saying is if you indicate, I think you get 3. Says you select up to 3 U.S. Census divisions. If you select 3, everybody else is gonna get a no divisions preference. And then if you put, I do not wish to communicate divisions preferences, again, it's just gonna show everybody no division preference, which is kind of telling them that you may have selected another 3 preferences. So I think if you don't really want to do this, you should put, I do not have a division preference, period. Because that way this selection will be shared with all the programs. You should either do this or just pick 3, because saying I do not wish to communicate this, and then showing it's just going to show to the programs as if you pick 3 other preferences, and that's, you know, make them think that you didn't like them or something. I mean, that's my conclusion from all this. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, but that's what I'm going with. That's how I'm reading it anyway. So you pick 3. I'm going to pick, for example, Pacific West. Then you're going to fill in 300 characters of why you want to go to the Pacific West. Mountain West, same thing. And then finally, Mid-Atlantic, same thing. You have to put why you want to go there. My parents live there, etc., something like that. We'll move right along. Then you're going to go ahead and pick urban and rural setting preferences, rural, urban, slight preference, strong preference, whatever. You fill this out and you type. If you want to share any information about your preference or lack of a preference or for setting, I don't know why what is this? You explaining lack of preference. Okay, so that's that. You can just take a look at that. And then preference signaling. Let's say, for example, you're gonna apply to dermatology. This will pop down right here like that, see? Or general surgery. I think dermatology, you get to send 3 preference signals, and when you click this, you can pick random. I'm going to pick randomly here, but you can see how that works. General surgery, you pick up to 5. You know, you pick up, and then you see what programs are here. And this actually tells you, I think, which, here, you know what? Go ahead and take a look at this, because I think there's only 50% of the general surgery programs that are even involved in this. I remember reading that. But you can take a look at this and see which programs are even involved by me going through it for you like this. I don't know if this is actually all of the programs in the country, or the ones that are just partaking in this. This might just be all the programs. But anyway, you do that for that. And then so it's 3 for derm, 5 for gen surge, 5 for IM categorical, and 5 for IM prelim. And here's some random ones that I had picked out here from before. We're going to move on to the next thing. So now we're going to the submission page. Just be mindful of these dates here and when you're applying. So if you already done it by the 19th, it's going to show the program directors on the 29th. If you're doing it between 20 and 30, it's going to show on October 6th. And I don't know how this is going to affect whether you're considered late or not late. I mean, anyway, again, please put all your energy into the main ERAS. That's my recommendation. And then you hit, would you like to submit? Yes, move on. Now, I'm not going to move on because I'm not ready to submit this. So if you hit next, you go to this research only work preference section. That's that last section that nobody from the program see. From my understanding, and from people that have done this and told me about it, this is a research only section, meaning that it's for making this software better. It's like a survey or something like that. But I wouldn't sweat it too much because this part's not even going to any of the programs. Wish you all the best of luck, and good luck with all the ERAS. I hope this was helpful for you, giving you an idea what this looks like from the inside portion. And again, best of luck. Thank you.